Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all between. Brian, what's happening, man?
Another evening in paradise. What about you, Mr. Vince?
Yes. Same thing. Did a marathon of watching both of these movies back to back today because we pre-taped last week or a couple weeks ago, and it's our least favorite of them all.
Not them all. Not them all.
Episode 8. There's someone I know that they had one thing to say about this movie, and it was, I fucking hate this movie. I won't say who it is, but so what's going on with you, buddy?
Not much. I'm looking forward to jumping into arguably the second worst movie in the entire trilogy.
Yeah, this is like whipping ourselves and pouring vinegar and salt on ourselves, man. Holy shit. But yeah.
This is a hodgepodge of ideas all thrown into one.
Dude, what a mess. I mean, it must have been so stressful to, because here's the thing. You come into something like this, things are already pre-made, pre-vised, built, characters are flushed out. You're not really a director. You're just kind of guiding certain things. Not like a director in the sense
Correct.
of you're in control of everything and
You're in control of what you were handed.
Right. It's more like being a television director if you direct Star Wars. And there's nothing wrong with being a television director. It's just a different kind of job. But yeah, so let's get into it, shall we? That's for you, Disney. But here we go.
The First Order reigns, having decimated the peaceful Republic. Supreme Leader Snoke now deploys his merciless legions to seize military control of the galaxy. Only General Leia Organa's band of resistance fighters stand against the rising tyranny, certain that Jedi Master Luke Skywalker will return to restore a spark of hope to the fight. But the resistance has been exposed. As the First Order speeds towards the rebel base, the brave heroes mount a desperate escape.
Okay, let her rip, buddy.
All right, I'll just go say it. You told me to say it. My first comment on this movie is I hate this movie. That's my first real feel about watching this. Go ahead, Vince. You say some other things because I feel like that's a harsh way for me to start.
No, that's perfect. First of all, it's too ready, red,
Not a salt mine fan, huh?
Watching the way it's like the Wiggles on the dark side. You know what I mean? Big ship opener, but different. It wasn't grand in scale. It was just kind of like floating like a turd in space at Akbar's ship. A destroyer stage out of hyperspace, in mid evacuation. Here's the note. Tell Captain Kennedy, to leave Lucasfilm. Big Imperial cruiser with scary weapony thingies appear with the two big, nip cannons, as I call them.
They were very nip cannon-y.
I'm liking that they're kind of coloring up the ships instead of making them white. It would make sense.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Star Trek did that too. They went from like straight up colors to like some darker patterns and things like that. Right. And I think that's a natural progression for having a lot of different ships, which is cool.
A single X-wing fighter shows up in front of the destroyer. Leia orders communications. Color palette is noticeably different. And Hux appears as a hollow Hux, like he's floating in space, a precursor to another moment later in the film.
The
heroes are alive with the sound of music.
I got more of a thriller vibe from it, but
my goodness. Dogfight ensues, which is always good. as Poe is being taken out, is taking out the onboard cannons. Leia tells Poe to come back. Leia gives Poe a direct order as he shuts off the comms. And then she looks at C3PO and says,
3PO. We've
3PO.
established this.
3PO! 3PO!
Wipe that nervous expression off your face, 3PO. I thought that was hilarious when she said that. You know, so Poe goes and he's fighting. He's a lone fighter on the dreadnought. He's got one cannon left to take out, if I remember correctly. Oh, the doors won't open. It goes to the. Hold on, if I got a picture of this. The bombers, of course, that picture didn't work. There's a bunch of bombers coming in with cluster bombs to take out this big flying V
Mhm.
or whatever it is. And okay, this is the kind of thing that pisses me off about films like this. There's 4 of them, right?
Mhm.
One shitty TIE fighter takes out 3. Something happened, boom, he shoots it, boom, he gets shot out, and then he flies through 2 other ones. Takes out thousands of people, but no one can hit the last one. You know, and she falls down this thing and she uses the force, and like Leia does a little, and then, you know, the remote control falls slow-mo and she catches it and then sacrifices herself, and all the cluster bombs go down. And
It's an okay opening scene. Ish.
bullshit.
I said ish. Trying to be nice.
Right. So Poe and BB-8 take out the last cannon, and the cool fighters move as Poe fights. I already said okay. Da-da-da-da. Oh yeah! Don't forget, she grabbed her necklace. You know, and then that gave her the extra boost. And then you'll find out why she's got the necklace later. But anyway, bombs away, and they win for the moment. Then Snoke wiped. I thought it was hilarious. Snoke wiping the floor with Hux.
Snoke.
You know, first of all, he looked too young to have his like that role. That certain
Hey,
things.
maybe Snoke was his uncle. Who knows?
Right, you can't be a colonel or at fucking 25 years old or whatever.
Hey, well, we don't know the backstory, so.
Let's get a ginger in to match all the red in the movie. Finn I'm kidding. Relax, people. No emails. Won't read them anyway. Finn wakes up and
my beard is red. Okay, everybody. If you could see it, I'm zooming in. It's red.
yeah, so Finn wakes up in the medical bay. No BAFTA tank, mind you, but he's got some kind of weird water suit on that pees everywhere. And then Rey hands saber to Luke. Okay, so you finally get to see Luke. Da 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 da. Mechanical hand, nice touch. Hands him, and he throws it over his shoulder. What the fuck?
I didn't like that.
Talk about pissing in your fan's face.
I really didn't like that
As
part.
my note says, most bullshit moment in movie history.
Ooh.
Total bullshit moment.
So
Dude,
my commentary.
Characters for 40 fucking years. Luke Skywalker. Sorry, even though he's a fictional character, we get it. But his character wouldn't do that.
So that's where my note is literally this. This is so very not the Luke we know.
Yeah. Then, after that, he runs back home and shuts the door. And then space penguins find the lightsaber, and Rey walks up to the space penguins and grabs it. And then she sees his X-wing fighter, a la in Yoda's time, you know, underneath
Dagobah.
Dagobah. Oh, Annie. Just kidding. So knock on the door, and Luke, you knock on Luke's door, and he's like, "Go away!" And then you just see the door blast open and fly across the room, and you're thinking, "Wow, that's Rey's force," and that's Chewie. Roar! He's like,
Which is great.
What are you doing here? That was a great. That was a great.
Yeah, they calmed some of the early anger in that movie. It's like they wrote in early anger for no reason. And was like, all right, hang on, let's take it back for
right. And then Luke says, "Falcon, where's Han?" And then that, of course,
Yeah, but he would have known that.
Well, he was removed from the Force. Remember?
Yeah, I tell you though,
as we find out.
Yeah, I get that, but he still, that would have been like, whoa, what was that? I felt that. To me, even if I don't care if you're removed, you're still going to get a ripple when Han Solo dies. Something's going to happen, and you're going to be like, that's weird. I haven't felt that in years. Like, yeah, I used to have a mole there. Like there would have been something, in my opinion, that would have linked those two together.
Sure. Kylo enters the movie laughing. It's like he watched whatever, the Dark Knight. Hello, Dark Knight. I am Kylo Ren. Then all of a sudden they're in Snoke's chambers. Like, where the fuck did this guy? Who is Snoke? Where does he come from? He's just doody-doo.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who's your daddy? Okay. Snoke's chambers is the most expensive, cheesy, historical sci-fi set known in the galaxy. Could you get any fucking cheaper? May I look like an episode of fucking Star Trek from 1960? Look, we're in a red room with shiny floors. Cal Burnett show's on at 8 o'clock, so we're going to have to get this and wrap it up real quick.
It's very season 3 original series Star Trek.
Right.
We're out of money. We need to make all of these episodes work in 3 sets. You tell me how we do it.
Yeah, get a scram, bunch of red lights. Let's go. Come on, we got to get this. Got to get this done by launch.
I agree, 100%.
So they talk about the potential of the bloodline to a new Vader. Now everyone knows who Darth Vader is, apparently, and the connection between him and I still don't even know if he's Sith at this point.
So before we keep going, my one commentary would be obviously seeing 9 before we do it. There was no connection between these movies.
Right.
It's like, all right, we got a storyboard for 3 here, or for 9. Here it is. Just know that going into 8, and there's no collaboration as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Then we have, the Penguin Jawas, Penguin Ewoks, whatever,
I'm into them. They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. It's fun when Chewie's trying to eat his lunch or his dinner.
It's all this.
Huh?
It's all this. It's money.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, they made such an impact, I don't even know what they're called.
How many Funko Pops did they sell of that little penguin?
Oh, I don't know.
A bajillion, probably. That's my point. Is that's all that is.
I don't even know what that character is called, and usually I would know. But, I guess it didn't go over as well. But anyway. So anyway, it tells Ren to take that ridiculous thing off, her ridiculous helmet, and goes, "You're no Vader," which made Kylo cry. Just a child in the mask. Kylo loses his shit again.
It's very Anakin. So Anakin. All of the bits are so Anakin.
In the elevator of Snoke's ship, Snoke's gonna like, dude, you just caused $60,000 worth of fucking damage with your fucking helmet smashing it in. You only make $40,000 a year. I think at this point you shouldn't have had him do that with the helmet. He should have done it. He should have killed someone, and like that would have been more apt. Just
I
to
agree.
rage kill somebody or something, or
Why
hurt.
not?
But
let's maim a stormtrooper. How about that?
Yeah. Hit the target or die. So General Akbar's are back.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Turn around. Luke becomes grumpy Han Solo all of a sudden.
By the way, is Admiral Akbar like the most famed random Star Trek character that there is? Star Wars, excuse me, Star Trek. Like everybody knows Admiral Akbar. How many lines does he have? How many lines does he have? I don't know either, but it's less than 5.
He's been in a bunch in animation.
I get it, but like movie wise, not everybody is into that. Like 5,
like 3 lines.
Yeah, but everybody knows it's a trap
because he was just a cool looking character,
right?
And he was okay. Here's something. You know why? He was the first alien that was taken seriously in a combative leadership role. Like if you think about it in the timeline of how aliens were presented, he was the first full on like Patton like, or
yeah, that's fair.
Pick a war hero,
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It's funny because
almost I feel like Churchill in a way.
Out of like the random people in a Star Wars series, so many people would be like, "Yeah, I know who Admiral Akbar is." Like it's just like the most random person to me that people still remember.
And it's been a joke since the movies came out. It's a trap,
right?
To your buddy.
I love it. I love Akbar.
Chick, it's a trap.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so Luke becomes grumpy Han Solo, then wanders off again in a Yoda-like fashion. He's just like, like he's on speed or something. He's just walking off or tripping, And then he goes and drinks some green space milk. Luke catches a big-ass fish. Rey's still stalking. And Luke's like, "You're wasting your time." Doesn't want to train her. Rey hears something and wanders into the forest or into the first Jedi temple, seeing the original text of the Jedi. And then Leia bitch slaps Poe and demotes him for
being a bitch.
Yeah, for defying her orders and demotes him. Finn asks how Rey will find them. Leia shows her LoJack device. But they were that whole LoJack device just doesn't make sense, man. It's
I agree.
Poe asked, whatever that is. Leia senses Kylo/Ben before they get to the cockpit. They sense each other. Kylo backs down against Leia. Okay, yeah. So they're coming in to Leia's ship, and Kylo senses, and Leia senses Kylo, and they sense each other. And he's about to fire, and he's tearing up, and then he takes his thumb off the fire button, and 2 X-Wings come around and take the shot for him, basically.
So how do we feel about the Force Connect scenes? Because there's a lot of them in this movie.
Too much.
That's what I thought. Like 1 or 2 is fine. I feel like there was like 5.
Dude, I kept on going again with the fucking Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah, I get it, and that's very cool.
Right.
I don't know how many of those we like. Was that the first time we had that at all? Like, I'm trying to think like back through all the movies. I don't remember 2 people knowing across the universe where the other one was.
No, but they could Luke, Leia.
Okay, that would be the first iteration of it before they did like the screens like they did them.
Yeah, they weren't linked like physically where they could see each other and this, that, and the other.
I mean, we can get to it later because that comes up where he's like, "Oh, well, I don't know why the Force is linking us." It's like, I don't either. I don't know either.
Are they related? Are they brother and sister?
Right. Right.
Are they the reincarnation of the the good and the bad, brother and sister that died, the Mortis gods?
I couldn't tell you, but it's weird.
Yeah, so then Leia gets sucked into space because she sees it, senses it coming, and she floats into space, and then she Mary Poppins in. Oh my god, dude!
It's moonwalking.
My note, fucking stupid.
My note is literally the spacewalk. Why is that even a thing?
Like,
yeah, I know. I agree.
and they're all watching her. Ay, ay, ay. So Finn picks up the beacon that Rey has the frequency to. Chewie goes to eat, and the space penguins fuck with them. And now he's not hungry because he doesn't want to, They're like, oh, you're going to eat my buddy? First of all, like, yeah, he already killed your buddy. You might as well eat it, But, yeah, so Luke powers up the Falcon cockpit, and then he goes and sits where he was training and where they were playing chess. And where he gets to train as a Jedi, and R2 wakes up as he does that. Luke says no way he's going back, and R2 then plays him the original Leia hologram, and he goes, that was a cheap move. It's funny that they're making fun of themselves for...
I like that, though. That was a good callback to me.
Oh, for sure. But it
was a fun...
that it was a cheap trick that they pulled. And
it was fun. I agree. It was just fun. That was one of the very fun moments of this movie.
Oh, totally. It was great to see, Then Luke comes back and says, I'll give you 3 lessons in the morning. I'll teach you to be a Jedi and why the Jedi need to end, is what he says. Then they announce Leia's death. A new character arrives to lead the resistance. Admiral Holder, played by Laura Dern.
I love Laura Dern.
Yeah. Then Poe gets a talking to.
Again.
By Admiral Holder. It's like, it's Captain, not Commander. He's like, yeah, whatever you want to call me. Commander, Captain, yeah. Yeah, Gnip, 110, 120, whatever it takes.
No, he got the grow up in this movie, and I was okay with it.
Finn packs a bag and finds someone crying, and it's Rose, a new character, and she fangirls out on him before she stuns his ass for trying to flee because she's already caught like 10 people trying to leave on one of the shuttles. And then they talk about tracking through light speed and quickly make friends, and they figure out a way that they can stop the tracking of Rey. And then Finn and Rose pitch their idea to Poe, and Poe places his hand on Leia's hand. She's alive, but everyone else doesn't know that. Maz all of a sudden is on a Halo phone. Like, I didn't even know that they knew her, like, because it was only Han and
right.
And needs to go get a master code breaker with a flower on his lapel. Like, dude, what did you do?
That whole to me, cut that whole thing out.
Yes. Kylo is getting his injuries cared to. Now he has a scar instead of the screen door in his face, which I actually would have preferred if they left the screening in there. I think it looked pretty cool on screen.
So we can just call him Beefcake Kylo at this point.
Oh yeah, look at my pecs.
Jesus.
Yeah, why do we keep seeing each other like this?
Can you put a towel on? And he's just like,
yeah,
what's wrong? Like, all right, dude, like, that's a lot. It's a lot of tit.
You like champagne. So Rey and Kylo sense each other. She shoots him with the blaster, and he almost feels it, and he reacts to it. And, of course, it winds up that she shot one of the observers. Is that what they were called? The observers?
Oh, you mean the alien Jedi nuns?
Yeah. Exactly. Right, and then they see the light dark mosaic on the cave floor that has been in animation and stuff. Luke starts his lesson, and the dark place calls to her, and Luke's voice trails away, and Luke states that she went right to the dark, like immediately, like first time. And it's weird. As a Star Wars movie comes out, you only need to be trained for 3.5 seconds.
And then you're ready to go.
You're ready to go, you know.
Or you can not be trained at all and just wield a lightsaber like Finn.
Yeah. Well, he's only seen that power once in Ben Solo, he says. Ben Solo. And it didn't scare him then, but it does now. So he's scared of her. Now, why are they connected? You know what I mean? I know Snoke says he did it later, but, you know. Rey figures out Luke has removed himself from the Force. So he's outside of it. Kylo and Rey are now Force connected, which is fucking stupid. It really is, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Rose and Finn approach the planet so they can go find the code breaker. More Star Wars music band, which wasn't bad. But you know what I don't like when they do, and I totally agree. I think this whole section should be cut out of it. Don't reference Earth. Like, don't be. The reason why we're watching these movies because we don't want to,
we don't want to pretend that we live on Earth. Yes.
Right. So, like, when you hit like Casino, like that was so earthy. The whole thing in there was very earthy, kind of. I don't know. I just didn't care for it either. Rose tells her and her sister's story to Finn. And then he's watching horse racing, which even made me more insane because it's earthy stuff. Like, come on, you've got all these monsters. You could have done something different. BB-8 runs in, finds the code breaker, and they have, of course, ejected and thrown out of the casino, and then they wind up in jail. And of course, the code breaker is actually in the jail cell with him, Benicio del Toro. I still don't get that whole thing with the guy with the thing on his lapel. I must have missed something.
I don't get it either.
Yeah. Then it cuts to Rey in weapons training, and then she grabs the lightsaber and starts working out with that, and Luke watches cautiously. Then he walks up to the mountain for lesson number 2. Luke speaks of his own legend and that there was balance for a few years, but then Rey asks what happened. Luke says the temple was destroyed, was in rubble, and then Kylo took a handful of students with him that Kylo had taken down Luke's whole thing. And Benicio del Toro, again, I don't even know why he was in there. Now he's a hacker, so it's another Earth thing. Don't call him a hacker.
Yeah, and then they made him stutter too. Like, I didn't understand any of that. The whole thing.
Give me cocky. What the fuck I drive? Goddamn. It's a callback to that.
I just still, I don't get any of that part of the movie. Is like, I know that you needed to fill a little bit more, but I don't get it. I didn't need it. I mean, I just.
You know what they could have done instead of that whole thing? Had a chess game between Chewie and C-3PO. Again.
Or we could have introduced like a cool new bounty hunter who's got a suit that he puts on. Like anything other than this. Like I would have been into that more than I would have been into what we got.
Right, or see what Maz Kanata was up to.
Sure.
Then Rose and Finn escape and find space horsies. Then she shows the Flash resistance ring that looks like it came right out of the Flash fucking TV show. Dude, this whole thing, I do not like this movie. Escape on space horsies as they ride through the casino.
Hey, but they set them free.
Yeah. Rose and Finn, not the stormtroopers, but Rose and Finn almost drop off a cliff's edge. A spaceship shows up and scares the shit out of them right as it rises up. Luke walks outside and touches rocks and then reaches out to Leia. Leia. So they're through the Force. They're reaching out, much like.
Yeah, but don't forget, being a Jedi doesn't only mean moving rocks. That's a line that's said.
Being a Jedi. Yeah. Luke walks outside and touches rocks again. Rey and Kylo Force chat about Luke freaking out. So now they're like gossiping. And then, he explains insane Luke and this, that, and the other. And da-da-da. And then you see what happens. And he's like, no, Kylo, I came back to it. And he fucking wrecks the building. And then next thing you know, it's a million.
Well, you just did that whole scene by yourself. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. So
no special effects needed. Just the whole thing. I got it. I felt it.
Yeah. So Rey goes to the pit and is pulled in to the waters, gets out and sees the Force mirrors. Like, apparently Rian Johnson liked to go into the JCPenney store when he was a kid and like close the 3-way mirrors around him and just,
I wasn't here for that either.
Yeah. Who the hell? And you don't know who Rey's talking to. Like, she's narrating over, which never happens in Star Wars. So you're taken out of it. Like, well, who the fuck is she talking to? But the whole thing with the, and she goes to see, and she asks to see her parents. Then you see a couple of figures, and then they merge into one, and then it's her. Now, theories have said that she's a clone.
Okay.
And that's why you saw so many of her. And when she went to see where she came from, she was looking back at herself, who could have been a dark or light side Jedi or gray Jedi from way back. We don't know. We don't know. But she has to see her parents, and that's what she got. Then Rey and Kylo are hanging in her place, and they're about to touch. I was just like, when that scene was playing, all I could hear in my head was, I've had the time of my life.
And only you. Yeah, it was. I don't like that.
And then Luke walks in like, no, you're going to kiss your sister, and tears half the building off. So I think because they echoed that, maybe that does make sense that they're brother and sister because they're a stronger Force.
Maybe it was on the storyboard and got ripped off.
Than Luke and Leia. Yeah. Or we'll maybe find out in the next trilogy that they're going to be doing. Luke explains to Rey what happened. But why would Luke do this when the students are sleeping? That's another thing that didn't make sense. Like, he's going to go into a room and like, what are you thinking about? Hey, you have any good dreams?
Luke had a few ales and then decided to go kill Kylo.
Then Rey and Luke have their sword / bow fight. Rey flies off. Luke goes up to the temple, but stays halfway there as he senses Yoda. So now we get a new Yoda again for this.
This wasn't okay. I was okay with this version of Yoda.
It was a lot better than the prequels for sure.
I mean, let's not forget about the burning of the books.
Well, Luke, he won't burn the tree like he's fighting, and then so Yoda just sends some Force lightning down, and Luke tries to go in there, but he can't save the books. So anyway, the lightning sends down, and everything, the temple and the tree is all ablaze. And Luke's like, "What about the sacred Jedi texts?" And then he's like, "Oh, read them, have you? Page turners, they were not." Dude, can you get any more contemporary in your dialogue? That pissed me off, man. It's like, oh, coffee I must have. Go to Starbucks, you must. Like, come on, it's too specific. And then he says, then he quotes, the greatest teacher failure is. And everyone agrees, time to end that Jedi after like fucking 7 movies of trying to save the Jedi and all this other shit. Fuck it. It's done. Fuck it.
That's the Jerry Seinfeld gift from Curb when he's seen enough and he just puts his hands up and walks out.
Why would anyone want to end the Jedi Order? We've spent 7 movies learning about the Jedi. Yeah. I don't get it. This is such a terribly written movie.
It feels like there was a 25-person crew writing this movie, and they took like one person from here, one person from here, one person from here, and they patched random shit together, and this is what we got.
I mean, they should have had C-3PO fucking write it, or R2. So Luke and Yoda watch it all burn. Finn and Rose, whatever that is, Rebel support ships all destroyed. Finn and Rose are hauling ass back. Finn gets pissed and then taken out of the bridge. Rey shuttles out of the Falcon. Yeah, so poor Finn gets pissed off, and Poe gets removed from the bridge for being a loudmouth smarty pants. And Kylo, toxic masculinity. And then Kylo Ren sans mask meets her there, and she is taken into custody. Rey is taken into custody. Yeah, it was weird. The Rey gets into a escape pod in the Millennium Falcon,
which we never knew that existed. So yes, and it's a single person with a 1-seater.
Hold on a second here.
Uh-oh, you pulling out schematics over there?
Would I have the plans to said Millennium Falcon? Yes, I have the blueprints.
Okay, and what's the verdict?
I do not see any hyperdrive warning, universal docking hatch, freight elevator pod, lower laser turret, landing claw, legal sensors, boarding ramp, flight lights, landing gear, cockpit maintenance, freight loading, main hold, the secret compartments. I do not see an escape pod. Fucking Ryan Johnson. Do you ever think I'd pull that out on a podcast? No, but come on, man. It was very Star Trek.
Yeah, it was.
But
yeah, all those ships have a bajillion escape pods and a million shuttles, so makes sense.
Yeah.
But also the scale of the ships between the two is much different. So like the Falcon would be like a little bitty versus
right. Like where's I mean, we've only seen a few rooms of it. So Finn and Rose and Del Toro are on the ship with BB-8. Rey and Kylo have elevator scene a la Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
Which was, that's fine. That was all right. I expected that scene. It makes sense they put it in the same setting. Kylo Ren delivers Rey to Snoke, who never made sense to me.
I agree.
Poe clears the bridge. Leia walks out in the bridge after doors blow off, and Leia stuns Poe. So she walks in from the sickbay and she shoots him with the laser.
Yeah, her first move after spacewalking.
Yeah. Admiral says goodbye to Leia. And then Snoke tells them he bridged their minds.
Cool. Would be nice to know how you got that power, Snoke. Who are you?
Right. Are you a Sith Lord? What are you? Leia and Leia and Poe scene, which was pretty good. They had a nice scene, little tender moment. Hux, Kylo kills someone remotely. Hux learns of some. I'm sorry. Then there's a great fight scene, and then Ben turns into Psycho Kylo Ren when he's talking to Rey. You must come with me. Come with me. Only I can love you. You know, very stocky movie of the week. Admiral, what's her name? Speed's light. Oh,
well, I mean, we have not passed he gets cut in half, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So Admiral light speeds through the flying wing, which I thought was pretty cool.
So, all right. So the ships are getting picked off. Yes.
Yeah.
Like one by one.
Yeah. There's only a handful left.
Why didn't you do that right away? They have
why didn't they send 4 small ships through them at light speed?
They have selective technology, and that's like the biggest thing. And once again, I'm a criminal offender at this point of saying, why didn't they do this? It would make it easier. Like, we already know the storyline's going where it is. Like, just go do that first. Or there has to be, like, even her staying on the ship. There's not one singular droid that can pilot a ship that you have. Like, there's not one droid, not one
the sacrifices that they make, Brian.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I comprehend that, but at the same time, they have selective technology in this particular series, and I don't understand why.
Right. So Finn goes after Phasma, then Finn takes out Phasma. Rose and BB-8 grab Finn and bail. The Supreme Leader does the Vader choke. I'm the Supreme Leader. Unbelievable. Rose and Finn slide into the base as the door closes. Oh, wait.
No, we did skip it, Vince. We did skip it. So that thing that you said is the cutoff. So we got the guy cut in half again. So Snoke gets remotely cut in half.
And you know what's funny? You know what I noticed when I was watching it this time? Not only did when he turned the lightsaber on sideways, not only did it cut him in half when he brought the lightsaber to him, it also cut his hand off.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So they got to cut some more hands off.
No, I'm just like, that was a cool. See, I thought the whole thing was going a different way then.
Yeah, it was so weird that he got killed so easy. That what?
So this guy that, is super powerful, bridging minds together. We don't know his backstory. Just like, the credits were still rolling and everything. Like,
you know what? The other thing about the Snoke set reminded me was the Wizard of Oz.
The big back.
Yeah, the man behind the curtain. So obviously.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Let's not spoil the lead.
Could it be a clone or a hologram or a semi-force hologram mind link part spam experiment? Dude, who wrote this movie? Oh my god! So Leia and Rebels hide in the base. Rose and Finn slide into the base as the door closes on their ship, of course. Leia sends out personal code for distress signal. And then the battering ram cannon space version.
Very mini Death Star. Yes, we'll continue.
Yeah, again with the, come on. Isn't there any other type of weapons out there,
It is another version of the Death Star. It's exactly what it is. It's just like...
Right.
Yeah.
Stupid red dirt scene.
I don't hate the red dirt. It's salt. I don't hate it. I think it's cool.
Falcon joins in for the fun. Updated Imperial walkers I like. They had heavier boots.
Yep.
And you are a lucky owner of a Imperial walker.
Dude, you're not going to not at any point grab your Imperial walker when it's needed.
Absolutely. See? No, that's the old version. That's not the new
version. It is. It's not the newer version. It's the old one.
Well, yeah, the good one. Finn denied the kill shot when Rose slams into him. You know, his lasers are already melting. He's already got like radiation poisoning out the ass. And she just bashes into him when she could have taken out the cannon. Instead of bashing into him, she could have just shot it and exploded it when it was gearing.
I agree.
But, you know, then she says, well, you don't do that. You save the things you love. Enough dying. Leia says the spark is out and sits down. And right at the most defeated moment, in walks the man with no name, the gunslinger himself in a duster, which I got. It's always been like a space cowboy movie kind of deal, and I get it. I like that part of it actually. But Luke walks in, but as a force projection. I don't understand that whole thing. And I'm like,
I'll tell you what.
Just for men, he dyed his beard over the weekend. You know,
I enjoyed them back together immensely.
Yeah.
It didn't feel forced. It felt natural.
No,
you know, the joke about, oh, you changed your hair, like I changed my hair, like that was good. Like I enjoyed all of that entire sequence of them.
Luke's like, hey, you want to make out?
Oh God.
It's been a while. Yeah, I'm bummed that we didn't get to see the OG characters have more than that scene.
Yeah, we got screwed on that.
We got that one scene though.
We got screwed on that.
Yeah, Luke gives Leia Han's dice from the Falcon, which I thought was really cool.
Very cool.
And kisses her on the head, but that shot was already done after she had passed away. And then Luke winks at C-3PO, which kind of took me out of the movie.
3PO!
3PO! 3PO!
You're all clear, kid.
Oh, Luke, you must wipe your ass.
So Luke walks out like a cowboy, headed to a gunfight. Then it's David versus Goliath as he stands up. You know, always biblical references and stuff in Star Wars. And so you see just this wall of evil.
Yeah. And
then Kylo asks, everyone fire on that man. So
see, this should have been when I knew that it wasn't. That's the moment I should have realized that it wasn't him, because nobody could have lived through that.
Yeah. And then, well, I noticed, I knew something was off because he was younger.
Yeah, see, I didn't realize that. I really didn't realize that.
From the flashback of Kylo at the Jedi school.
Yeah, I screwed up on that.
Walks out of the smoke, and then he goes like Bruce Lee, and it just totally pisses off Kylo Ren even more. And then he loses his shit again. So Kylo goes out to fight him. Rey goes into what's she doing? Into cavern, and then she's like, "Oh, lifting rocks."
The callback to the rocks.
Yeah, with the Millennium Falcon's up there, and then of course they're trying to get everyone through, and the Crystal Foxes are leading everyone to this pile of rocks, and that's where everyone's on the other side, so they get away, and the Millennium Falcon And that's what's left of the resistance, which is not many at that point. Probably less than whatever fits in the Millennium Falcon.
25.
Yeah. And then Luke says to Kylo Ren, "See you around, kid," like Han used to say to Luke. And then Luke falls into his perch back in the on the island and sees the pretty setting sun. Luke then just disappears as the two suns make him vanish into the sunsets. I do not understand what the fuck that was all about.
I don't. I fucking hate it. I'm gonna be as blunt as possible. I hate how that movie ended. I hate every little bit about it.
Yeah,
I can't stand it. I don't understand it. I'm annoyed by it. To me, this is a total re-edit as far as what they should have done after they knew what happened to Carrie Fisher. This movie was not released.
right.
Like,
And what's weird, she only had a few weeks of shooting left. So I don't understand why they didn't get everyone early.
but regardless, if you know that she's gone, we know you're gone. Like, let's change the ending just a little bit. Like, let's make sure Luke doesn't vanish. Like, I hate it.
First of all, he was a force projection. Second of all, how did he just disappear? Why did he die? He wasn't actually hurt.
I mean,
like what a.
So if we call back the Yoda disappearing, Yoda was old, but he wasn't hurt either. So if we look at it that way, he like kind of gave up. So to me, this is Luke saying like, did my piece, got them out of there, I'm done. Like, but why? That's how I feel about that. And it bothers me a lot because Mark Hamill would have done anything for this franchise. If you asked Mark Hamill during 8, like, hey, would you be in 10, 11, and 12? He probably would have said, yep.
Right.
Like, I'm into it. So that, I'll never all the movies I've seen in the theater in my life, which is a good amount.
Yeah.
This was the angriest I've ever left the movie theater.
Yeah, I was not pleased. To kill, I mean, people can say whatever they want, but Luke Skywalker is the most iconic film character of all time, above Superman, above Batman, above anyone you put, Zorro, Three Musketeers, Xena, whoever. And to take him out like that?
Yeah, I'll never understand it. I'll never like it. I don't want to say I got fired up when I was watching it, but I was like, how do you do that? Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, yeah. So we actually do love Star Wars, but
we do. I just don't love.
Yeah, I just I can't believe what they did to Luke Skywalker. I mean, I was so like, because I was like, after what they did to him in the first movie, there's no way. Because of the backlash, just that alone, everyone was like, "What the fuck? One shot?" And then you take him out like that. Han Solo got taken out like a bitch, and then
that's so. My last note is, how do you let Kylo Ren kill those two? Essentially, like, yeah, I know he didn't technically kill
Here's
Luke,
the thing: Kylo Ren was never imposing on screen. He wasn't scary. He got no reaction. I think it's really bad casting. Although I like Adam Driver, I like
Adam Driver a lot.
I just think it was wrong casting for this. And I don't know who could have done it better, but After watching Ahsoka and seeing the imposing character that's in that show, they got it so right on. Like, of course, that's what was missing. Vader was an imposing, huge physically. So when you streamlined him, dude, no one's afraid of a skinny guy. You know what I mean?
Well, that's probably why they beefed him up for Beefcake Kylo in the second one.
Beefcake Kylo. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I don't know.
We tried our best to be as positive as possible, guys. I promise.
Yeah, and Ray's teeth were too good from living in the desert with nothing.
Maybe they always gave some toothbrush. With every portion, they got a toothbrush.
There you go. Look at poor Luke just going, I wish that they had done this differently.
I agree with Luke.
Well, yeah, it was fun watching him after the movie came out and he was just going around bitching about it, I don't blame him.
I agree.
But holy cow. I mean, he understands he's an actor and he's paid to do his job, and he did his job as asked. But it totally unfortunate. Like,
I agree.
What a misstep. Out of anything to remake or to continue, to screw up that character is, because they didn't do it to Han, they didn't do it to Leia, they didn't do it to Chewie.
Yeah,
they just
they just did it to the biggest one,
into a douchebag. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's not the Luke that Luke would never have done that.
That's not the Luke that we're looking for.
That's not the Luke we're looking for. Oh, make a movie, fuck up, you did.
And by the way, my last comment is it's a very small scene, and I caught it last night.
Okay.
The Jedi text didn't burn.
No.
Rey stole them all. Yes.
You see him behind her on the ship.
I didn't see it the first couple times. And then last night I was like, hang on a second. And I paused it, rewound. And I was like, cool. So like Yoda with his...
I saw that in the theater. No. Got the books.
I don't know how I missed it, but I've missed it multiple times.
That's why Yoda's like, oh, worried about the text you are.
Nothing the girl doesn't know. Like... Right. That's really my last comment. That was a cool Easter egg.
Yoda had to make Luke believe that for him to continue and finish his journey, while he had to make sure that Rey had them so she could continue her journey.
Right. They're never done. That's why they still exist. That's why we get the ghost flashbacks. I get it.
Right.
That's why they're still alive, but still.
Yeah. That's why you got to watch Ahsoka, dude. I'm telling you.
I get it. I'm waiting till it's done.
Such a good show. You're going to be so happy.
I can't wait. I'm ecstatic to watch. Once I get Annie caught up, we'll be in good shape.
Right. Well, thank you, George Lucas, for enduring the pain. I'm sure it was more painful to you than anyone else, and of course, Mark Hamill and the entire cast. We do love Star Wars. We do love the characters that are in it. They just weren't serviced as we would have liked, but we didn't make the movie, so what are you going to do? We'll still watch the next Star Wars movie, and this is the next Star Wars show because we love Star Wars. So anyway, that's all I got for today. How about you?
That's all I got, gang.
All right. We'll see you guys next Friday on Sci-Fry.